to the Activity Call Live. Filmed in beautiful Treasure Island, Florida. Now let's hear from our host, our president and CEO, Andy Albright.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate it. Got several things I want to run by the team, my top guys and girls, people that are coming on strong, that are brand new. We're coming in strong into the fourth quarter, and a lot of people looking to win this trip to Thailand. It's one of those legendary trips. If you've never been to Thailand, I had never been before. And Jane and I went over there with Jennifer, and we were just like in awe. It's just so beautiful. The places we're going to stay, the things we're going to do, the restaurants. It'll be an experience you'll talk about the rest of your life. Or you'll talk about how you almost got a trip to Thailand, all expense paid. So other stuff going on. We got bonuses for people. Foresters is giving away money. There's a ton of stuff going on. So just want to give you a few tips, thoughts that I have on making money and building your business. I've got a couple of guests that are going to be joining me shortly, but I'm talking to everybody. So Tia, if you will go ahead and pull up these issue paid reports, the activity reports. I want to show y'all, we had some crazy stuff. Beth Ireland issued 25,000 this week, and she'll tell you it didn't come easy to her. She has to fight for every dime and fight for everything that she gets. And she paid 8 apps for it. There we go. Look at that. 25,000 up on the screen now. 25,655. Part of Terry and Tia's team. Terry's been chatting with her. Will Paris, who was on here, we talked about last week, his number was called out. 24,000 issued, the man. Chris Long with 22,000 issued. Look at this, 13 people over 10 grand this week. We are fighting to get 100 people issue paying 10,000 a week. 100. Who's going to be next? Billy Crane, 21,000. We're looking for you to do half of what these 4 superstars did. Beth Ireland, Will Paris, Chris Long, Billy Crane, all over 20,000. Mike Hartley, my neighbor over here. Mike, I went out with your buddy Steve Doss yesterday on his 55-foot yacht. Mike Hartley, kicking butt, 14,000 issue paid. Megan Wood, look at her. She's just steady, 13,500. Month to date, she's winning. I don't know if I get time, I'll pull up the month to date, but she's killing it. Marvin Osuna, you hear me talking about his guy, Otsoy, that's been kicking butt. Marvin continues to kick butt. Terry Edwards, consistently recruiting and building and selling, doing everything like he's supposed to do. Him and Tia will become one of the first partners in integrity out of the alliance. Kyle and Janina Wilson. Kyle was texting me like crazy. He found a couple of sharp people this week. Janina knocked out 12,000 issue paid. Robert Wilson consistently in the top 10, top 15 to this week, 11,000 issue paid. Sean Boone, my man, two issue paid IULs. If I understand correctly, these were on NFL football players that are friends of his from college. They graduated, went on to the NFL. I know he's out running appointments, running leads, doing everything. But in addition to that, he's using his warm contacts for Index Universal Life. Stephanie Rodriguez, another one of my neighbors. She's part of Mike Hartley's team. They're on the same team there, 10,000. They're competing. They're going back and forth. Tim Long got him 10,000 issue paid. So there's the 13 people over 10,000 issue paid. We need to get 100 of them. Scroll me down a little bit. Annuity sales going through the roof. Beth Ireland got a $200,000 one. Hartley got a $120,000 one. Billy Crane a 94. Terry Edwards a 92. Osuna 74. Janina 70. Brandon Beal a 12. Blake Everett. Cuz. We got 11,000 issued. That is Russell Everett's boy. I call him Cuz. Richard Madigan, Paul Roberts' team got a little annuity issued. Marcus Richardson got a little one issued. Jason Molina got a little issued, and Steve Brantley got one issued. Scroll down and see what's next. I think it's recruits. Andy Riddle. Submit. Chris Long, another big submit, 26,000. Y'all see what's coming. Jane Hill submitted 20,000. Billy Crane, 20,000. Osuna, 19,000. Dennis, is that Dennis Lyons? Let me see. Dennis Lyons got 16 grand. Robert Wilson, 14 grand. Michelle Alleman, 13 grand. Jeremy Go Edwards coming down here in a couple weeks. Oh, I want to I'm not sure if you have anything that we could show to you. If you don't, that's fine. But about the upcoming F&G meeting down here to Don Cesar, we're still open to people coming to that. You won't be invited to my house and the special parties, but you're open to the training if you're within 2 or 3 hours, or you just want to come down here and meet Jeremy Edwards. Mike Levitovich is going to be here. There's going to be some superstars here. Chris Norris will be coming down from BAM. I thought about that because I can't wait to see Jeremy. Hadn't seen him in a while. Joe and Tony Walker, I was calling out Joe yesterday or Wednesday, and his boy Trey called me a couple of times, caught me at dinner, called me on FaceTime. He's pulling for Joe. He wants his daddy up there at number one time. Joe Dukes, 11 grand. Charles Crawford coming in here, new guy under the Cats with 11,000. Terry Edwards consistently producing. Jonathan and Megan, 10 grand, consistently producing. Let's look down these recruiters. Andy Riddle continues to just stomp everybody. Let me tell y'all stuff. He's figuring this out. It's not just growing in width. He's starting to get depth going under everybody. And really, if I know people want to find the right person, but I've never been able to do it. It's always come from somebody, knowing somebody, and then that person does it. 27 years, I've tried to pick people. I want them to win, but I can't do it. I just find them, and I usually find them through somebody else. Years of doing that. Costs a fortune, but it also makes you a fortune. Our staff up in Burlington, we got the red with 8, and I think we got the other organization. Yeah, and then the blue team had 8. There's the F&G training. All right, here we go. The Fidelity and Guarantee sponsored, and they didn't pay for all of it, but they sponsored. They put in a group with an amount of money for a training that'll be October the 1st from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The people that won the contest will be coming down on the last day of September, and we're going to get together. We are working on a location. So those of you that have come down, the party night that we can hang out, we're working on a location. We're looking at, I think it's either Three Daughters or another awesome restaurant that we've been working on. And we're not going to have that night at the Don Cesar. So that's a slight change. Everybody, training will start at 9 a.m. We'll go from 9 to 5. It'll be pretty intense. We've already got the lineup. We've already got the agenda, the speakers and trainers. Marvin Otso is one of the ones that'll be training. He's brand new with the Alliance, been pouring on the premium, putting the numbers up. And then we'll do another training the next morning, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And again, Gina Hawks will be here. Ivy Wilson will be here. Kelly will be here from Medico. So there'll be a lot of training, a lot of chance to shake hands, get to know the right people before you need to know people. My wife is going to be there at the get-togethers on the last day of September. And the next day, October 1st, at our house, we're going to have a pull together over here for all the winners. And it's going to be a great time. And the other leaders that are coming down, they're taking their leaders out to dinner and entertaining them. So it's going to be a great time of association. If you can take me back to the recruiters, I want to keep giving them credit. Joe 2 continues to perform both in production and recruiting on Jeremy Patton's team. What I would say to any of you out there, Beth, James, Tim, Kyle, any of you guys that want to move to the top, selling and recruiting and building. Recruiting works like this. You hire somebody and you figure out how to get people under them, and you figure out how to get people underneath them. That's the way the program's going to work. And selling, it's real simple. You book the appointments, go to the appointments, you bring in the premium. I know it's a lot of stuff between your ears and psychologically, which is what I'm going to talk about next, but this is real simple. If you want to become a Joe 2, you just start the do. You just start doing the do, and we'll call your name. And I understand I've only got the top 12 on here. I know there's 150, 200 other people that are trying and recruiting some. These are the people that are excelling. I'm looking for the agency managers to break it down to your group and talk about who's in the top 2, the top 3 of your organization, making stuff happen so they get more recognition. Even though they might be down at 100 in the company, they might be top 2 or 3 on your team. So make sure they're getting recognition. Jane Bazan continues to produce on the Jason and Olga team. She continues to put recruits in. Olga and Jason Mathis stepping up with 2 recruits this week. I talked to Jason. Jason hired by Andy Riddle. I said, you should talk to Riddle and say these words. How do I get the numbers that you're getting? What are you doing different than I'm doing? A lot of people, when they want to find out what to do, they start telling you what they're doing. I go like, I don't really need to know what you're doing. I need for you to find out what the guy at the top is doing. Now, again, Jason is recognized. He's kicking butt. He's taking names. But I'm just telling y'all the phrases to get you rich, or how do I do what you're doing? What are you doing to get there? Study the people that are successful. Ask questions and copy them. A lot of people tell me why they're doing it the way they're doing it. I don't care. I don't care why you're doing it the way you're doing it. The winners, the people that are getting results, are doing it this way. This is what we need to study. I'm keeping it simple. You got to keep it simple. John Thorman continues to recruit, part of Owen's team. A new one, Jeanette Rodriguez, part of Jason and Olga's team. Jason and Olga getting other people to do stuff like this right here with Janet. Way to go, Jason and Olga. Good job. George and Penny Wilson put 2 in. Stephen and Holly Davies put 2 in. So the numbers continue to look good in the recruiting. Although what I'm shooting for is double figures, so 10 plus a week, putting in width and driving depth like crazy, like a banshee. Okay, let's see who we've got on here. Has anybody been promoted to participants yet? I know you're probably working on that, Tia. I've got all kinds of stuff. DJ Jennings coming all the way from Alaska to be down to Florida. I bet the weather's going to be different for you, DJ. I can't wait to see you, buddy. Ain't seen you in a while. All right. Hey, Tawny. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
Early. What time is it out there, Tawny?
It is 7:13 in the morning.
7:30.
I'm glad I got the memo. We're all wearing red polo shirts.
We got
I almost went and changed my polo shirt because I saw you were wearing a red one, and I was like, nah, it's too early for that. I'm gonna. And then Mike turned on with a red polo shirt, and I was like, sweet, I got the memo right.
It's very difficult to me to take off my t-shirt and put on a button-up collar like this. The Florida life. Tony, I'm excited about what you and Jason have going on. Y'all are consistently selling, recruiting, building, and you're getting people to copy you. And Mike and Noel are doing the same thing. So Mike and Noel working as a couple, figuring out ways to get people to work. Now, here's what people say. Well, everybody wants to make money. Yeah, but don't everybody want to do anything. It's a combination y'all are doing. You're finding them, and then you don't do something to make them quit. People do stuff that stop their people, and then you're doing stuff to encourage them, and then you're coaching them to do it right. That's the combination we're looking for with everybody that wants to be a manager. First of all, find the people, Second of all, don't do something to mess them up. Don't contradict them. Encourage them, and then coach them, guide them. Not criticizing or critiquing, but coaching. And I mean, so the first subject that I'm covering today is personal use, and then I'm getting into questions that people ask themselves, questions that people ask others, not just personal use, but to do these 4 things: find them. Don't do something to turn them off. Do something to encourage them, and then coach them. So one thing, your story of this week, I think this past week of having to drive and going down to do those combination of things with Otsoy and Osuna. Would you just kind of give us a highlight of that, Tony, what you did? Because I know that's one of the things that you and Jason are doing that are causing your business to grow so fast and get you guys to partner quick.
Absolutely. This week was kind of a crazy week. We had decided, when I say we, my name is Tawny, my husband Jason, we work together as a team, and we had decided we don't travel often together. We usually go in different directions, but we had decided we were going to go to Reno, Nevada. And Reno, Nevada, and Jason and I have like this love-hate relationship. Every time we try to go to Reno, Nevada, something happens. Plane breaks down, fires, where it usually takes us 10, 12, 15 hours to get there. I don't know what happens. And so Jason and I, we go to the airport, we get on the plane, we're sitting there, and 3 hours later, they go, nope, we're not going anywhere. We're going to pull you guys off the plane, and we're going to try to fix the problem. There's fires everywhere in California. Hopefully the smoke will go away. And I was like, well, that's not going to happen. And so it's literally now 3.5, 4 hours later. We're looking at our watch. We're about to miss our connecting flight. And there's no other flights into Reno that we were going to make. So Jason and I look at ourselves, and Jason kind of throws out and he goes, well, I guess we could always drive. And I know he said it to me like half-heartedly, like I'm really joking, but it is an actual option. And he said it to me going, no, babe, they totally get it. Like we were texting with the Osunas, like totally understand that if we didn't make it, like it was out of our control. And I go, you're right. It only takes us 7.5, 8 hours to get to Reno. So if we left right now, we could make it just in time for the 7 p.m. meeting, because we had a whole boot camp planned, all that kind. We can make it just in time for the 7 o'clock meeting if we left right now. And he looks at me and he's like, I'm with you. So literally we start running out the airport. We hop in the car, we change our shoes because we were, I was in my heels. Jason's all in his nice clothes, and we put on our driving clothes, and we drive 7.5. It almost took us 8 hours through ridiculous smoke. I mean, it was absolutely, it looked like a war zone that we were driving through because of all the fires that were that are here in California right now. And I mean, it was insane. And we were driving, I'm not saying we were driving fast, but we were driving, maybe a little bit beyond the legal limit. But anyways, okay, there's probably officers, I'm gonna get in trouble. So we were driving the legal speed limit all the way for 7.5 hours to get there. And when we arrived there right at 7 o'clock, we threw on our clothes, and we had over 40 people that were in this room that were hungry, waiting for us to get there. And after we did the meeting, it had now been going on like a 17-hour just straight day for us. After we had done the meeting, we had completed training, met all these incredible people on Osuna's team and Otsoy's team. I looked over at Jason, I was like, I know we thought about not going. I said, but how could we not go? How could we sit back and be like, I know, but it started with our commitment to our team of doing the right things, even when it wasn't convenient, even when everyone could understand if we didn't show up. Like no one would have been like, doggone carries. They didn't drive the 8 hours. What kind of people are they? Like everyone would have understood had we not made it. Like it was out of our control. And instead of saying why we couldn't go up, we started to ask ourselves how we could make it possible. And I think that's one of the big difference makers. You stop asking yourself or telling yourself why you can't, and you start asking and telling yourself why you can and how you can. And you start scheming and thinking up all the ways that you can do that. And so I was just so blown away. And then the next morning, we got to have breakfast with the Osunas and Otsoys and recognize Marvin and Rachel Osuna for becoming qualified agency managers. And then we got to recognize Marvin and Julissa Otsoy for being recognized agency managers, like they're in the process of becoming qualified managers. And we got to talk about their team and game plan, a strategy to really take that entire organization in the next 6 months to $300,000. And we just were talking about, hey, let's go produce 6 agency managers in 6 months. And they're like, well, Osuna, I'm one of them. Otsoy, I'm one of them. And we started just talking about the people in their team and what we needed to do to help them become agency manager, and talking about going partner and what that was going to look like for them. And so it was just crazy and just an incredible time to talk to them. And we would have missed it had we decided to sit back and do nothing. We would have missed the opportunity. And so often, I think that's the biggest thing, is that we see opportunities, but because it's not the easy route, it's just missed opportunity. Sorry, I could go on for hours about missed opportunity, missed shots that we see, but we just don't take because of whatever reasons we think's in our brains. So it was just incredible.
Here's the story you get from most people, Tommy. God sent a signal for us not to go to Reno. We were on the jet, but God didn't let the plane go. And God put the smoke in the air and the fear of God. You know what I'm saying? Like the excuse is from God. So you have to say, oh, I understand. Anybody would understand. You got a signal from God. God closed the doors. And I mean, or God sent a challenge and you recognized it as a challenge and went, thank you, God, for this challenge. We're up for the challenge. We will drive through it. We will persist. Now, your downline, your organization, your people that you're trying to encourage see you as an overcomer and see you as somebody who didn't take the first excuse. It's just life is just such a game of choices and decisions that you're going to make in your life. And every rich person, every powerful person, every happy person I ever met was people that said success is on the other side of the trash heap. You got to go through the trash. You got to go through the smoke. You got to go through the hail. You got to go through you got to stay away. Somebody offends you. Somebody has a different opinion than you, and you have to sit there and take it, the trash heap, and go, okay, work through it and come out on the other side of success. And you and Jason continue to do that, and now you're finding people that'll do that, and it's never easy. Tommy was saying sometimes I just have to sit and just think and just calm down, as opposed to finding a Pistolian, a one dog that barks over here and bites over yonder. My wife said, "What is this?" She was cleaning out my desk downstairs. I said, "What does it look like?" That's just a piece of metal laying there with some other little pieces of metal around it. But you put them two things together in my hand,
100%. 100%.
You want to quit. You want to stop. You want to slow down. You want to blame it on God for sending you the answer. God's answer was don't go. So we heeded God. And let me tell you what good come out of it. And they'll make up all this good that comes out of it, as opposed to pushing through. And then it's like, well, I tried to push through and I wrecked my car. I got a ticket. Well, hey, nice. More trash, more problems. That's what you got to go through to get the results. And I just think for a lot of people, it's a misconception. They think the lottery ticket is a signal from God that they're going to win. No, it's not the luck that you get that's a signal from God. The luck you get usually comes from the crap you work through to get to it. So I really love that story. And what I want you to come back to in a little bit is some of the people, Tawny, that y'all got to run into and chat with, and what they're dealing with and the results they're getting.
Absolutely.
So I see Megan Wood on here. Megan, hey.
Hey.
Megan is shooting to issue pay $100,000 this month. She shot for it last month and didn't get it. I think she ended up around maybe 75 or something like that in a month. 75,000 issue shooting. Do you think you're gonna get to 100, Megan?
That's right. That's what I'm doing. Fired up. I did an annuity. I'm waiting on that check. It's my dad's, so I've been checking the mailbox every day. Not there yet.
Where's Dad live?
Where does my dad live?
Yeah.
Right next door.
Why don't you walk over there and get your check?
I know. He's waiting on it to be mailed to him. That's why I'm checking the mail.
Oh, so you're checking his mailbox,
I'm checking
not
his
your own.
PO box, because we got a PO box, not a mailbox.
I got you. And your
He
man,
lives in a nowhere town.
your man Chris, I see him on there. Chris, I'm guessing you're outside of a house getting ready to go get some money. Need to unmute Chris. Hey,
Yeah,
Chris.
I just wrote an app, and I'm on my way to another house to write another one. So,
How do you, Chris? How do you find this business? I mean, I know you met through Megan's sister or sister-in-law, but what do you? I mean, is this the craziest thing to print money you've ever seen in your life?
yeah, I'm really pretty impressed with the opportunity, the support that you get. You know, I mean, 6 months ago, I was not doing any of this, and today, well, last week I wrote 11,000 in AP. So, you know, super happy about that, and just pushing for more.
So are you some kind of a tech background like me, an engineer or science or something like that?
Well, by education, I'm a mechanical engineer, but I've been in the IT space. I've been in manufacturing. I've been in local government. I've been in private industry, big multi-billion-dollar companies and 3-person companies. So I've had a pretty diverse background in terms of working history. And like I said, the thing that impresses me the most about the Alliance is just first of all, the positive attitude of everyone here, but second of all the support that you get. It's really incredible.
I've been doing this 20 years now, and I'm still just astounded how a person can go out there and work an extra Sunday or an extra weekend and pick up an extra $5,000 or even $20,000. When I worked in a big manufacturing, had a big title, looked good, smelled good, people call me sir. We went on a Saturday. We get paid $50 to go in on a Saturday extra.
Mm-hmm.
In this business, you can just go out there and write business or print money. Does that still just boggle your engineering background?
You got paid extra to go in on Saturday?
$50.
I used to do that. I used to have to when I was in the automotive industry. I'd come in on Saturday and work, 4, 6, 8 hours on Saturday. I'd be the only person in the office because I just had to get caught up. And yeah, that was I got paid extra, a grand total of $0 to do that. So I do appreciate the idea that the more you work at this, the more effort you put in, the more you get out of it. So.
Yeah, we found out the dyeing department was paying. We wasn't paying over in the opening and blending and the cotton area, but we found out they were getting $50. We objected and raised hell and stink, and they started giving us $50. We was fired up out of our mind. Extra $200 a month.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say, Chris, is get it while you can. We don't know how long this is going to last. My wife's been thinking it's illegal for 20 years and they're going to shut us down. I go, well, I'm going to go do some more just in case, so I can have some more in the bank when this thing comes crashing down, when they don't let insurance people get paid. You never know.
Yeah.
I get it now. All right. So the first thing I want to cover is out of my 8 Steps book. I saw one of those books laying around here. Here we go. 8 Steps book. The first one is personal use. It's learning how. The first thing I talk about is personal use in there. You need the product. I love the IUL product. When I start talking about personal use, that's what I start going to. I started 20 years ago. The first one I did, Megan, was $250 a month on myself. And now I've got policies now where I put in $20,000 a month on myself, just every single month. But the one that's $250 intrigues me because now every year the cash value goes up way more than the money I'm putting in. It just blows my mind how rapidly first of all, how fast 20 years went by. And then I look at that policy that's now worth over $100,000 cash that I can borrow out, not taxed, and it has a death benefit for my children when I die, and it's permanent. It's not these term policies that are going to go away. And I got a $3 million term. I think it runs out in, I think I got 3 more years on it. My God, I hope I wasted all that money. God, I hope I don't collect on that one. 3 years. But the rest of them that I have are permanent policies. So my question to you is if you're a new agent, what do you have on yourself? Are you a billboard? Do you believe in your products? If you don't have them, it is dang hard for people to believe that you believe in it. And if you're lying and saying you got it, I know you're doing yourself a disservice, because something about when it's authentic, when you really believe in the product and you have that product on yourself, other people believe in it. So I said, if you will become a billboard for your products. So I want to talk about 3 other kinds of billboards. If you're a billboard for your past, are you a billboard for your present, or you're a billboard for your future? Most people live in the past. I mean, if I get around people from my high school, you remember that time we beat Cummins? No. You remember we beat Southern in overtime? Mm-mm. They remember stuff from high school, from mama and daddy, from a dog they lost. It's like, oh God. People if your billboard is your past, if that's all you talk about, people will run away from you. If you're a billboard for your present, where you are right now, people will sit and listen to you. If you're a billboard for your future, if you're talking about what's going to happen, I'm going to become partner. I'm going to Thailand. I'm going to become an agency manager. I'm going to be in the top 10. The future will get people to follow you. Are you talking about where you are, what you did, or what you're going to do? And I get people all the time, they want credit for their past, They want credit for their past. Hey, Andy, I've been working with this company 10 years. Great. Wow. I've been with your company 6 months now. Okay. How can I help you? Well, I deserve. That's where that comes in, that fairness thing. If somebody says, hey, man, I'm #1 in the country. Great. What are you #1 in? I'm #1 in recruiting, #1 in sales, #1 in not quitting. Okay, what are you going to do? People are more interested in what you're going to do than what you did and what's happening right now. That, as far as following you, they'll listen to what's happening right now. They'll sit. But if you want them to move and follow, if you need to talk about a big future, we've said this before, that men's hearts are not stirred by small dreams. If you talk about the craziness you're going to do, if you ever hear Fitz talk about when we first met, he was in college and he says, the one thing I knew, Andy was going somewhere. When people talk to you, do they feel like you are going somewhere? Are you talking trash? Are you promising a future? Are you promising how you're going to be #1? Like for you, Megan Wood, I love you promising to hit 100,000. What I want to hear a promise from is agency manager. What I want to hear is I'm going to be a partner with integrity. Me and Andy are going to be partners in business. People are excited when you talk about the future. And the next the simple promise is I have decided to sacrifice. What Jason and Tawny did when they drove from Rancho Cucamonga, California, all the way to Reno, Nevada, they sacrificed. There's no victory without sacrifice. There's no success without a trash heap that you go through. The pain and agony. I was talking to a young man yesterday, day before yesterday, and he was just talking about how he was so upset and frustrated because this guy who's made all these promises and now he's going to back out on his promises. That is the price we pay in leadership, is people promising and then backing out, driving through smoke, doing stuff that other people think is stupid. Other people, and I mean poor people think it's stupid. What does a rich person think? I coach every day, and my goal as I coach is to say, here's what rich people are saying. Here's what poor people are saying. What are you saying? And if you put yourself over on the poor people side, don't be surprised at the results you get. Tony and Jason, Mike and Noel, there are people that should be listening to this live. They're not, because they've decided. I have decided to sacrifice. They have decided that they are going to side with the poor people. They're going to decide with the weak people. They're going to side with the losers and not sit through another training. Hey, by the way, a big training that's coming up for you sophisticated people that love how big policies work, the people that are into the 403B and the para and the financial planning, not me and you, Megan. We're just basic, get the job done sort of people. On the other hand, I'm thinking about for my own financial planning, there's a seminar that National Life is doing. It costs, I think it's $800 to attend, and you have to have a CPA with you. And you have to fly to Vegas. This year, they're doing it virtual. I'm going to be on it because I want to hear how insurance can impact my future and financial planning and how we can move money. So, Jim Mosley with NLG can hook you up and get you an invite free this year. Normally, it's $800 for you, $800 for your CPA. But they're saying, and it's the stuff you can do with any insurance company, but NLG or National Life is training us on how to do it. So that is coming up, I think, next month. If you want to check with Jim Mosley on that, I think it will be valuable. Ooh, I'm getting these texts from people. I'm going to be a partner. I will be a partner. I like that. You know what? Anytime you start saying stuff like that, you can expect problems to come your way because you're trying to get somewhere, and that's when a problem comes along. And then what that is, that's prepping your story for the future. When all the times that I was driving for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles, and now I get through it and I'm successful to some people's terms with the houses and living on the beach. If I didn't have a story to talk about, what am I going? I mean, I can't talk about the struggle I went through and explain how successful I am, or explain how me and my wife get to travel all over the world. How to explain why we rent a yacht just for 4 or 5 hours and just motor around looking at rich houses and talking to our friends. How do I explain that? It's what I did is I went through the jump. Here's the other, and I heard a lady doing this the other day, all the stuff she did in the trash, and then she stopped in the middle of the trash, and she's still in the trash. I was like, what if she could pick it up again and start fighting through the trash and get out of that muck, as opposed to talk about how hard it was and it didn't pay off. Typically, what we say is you're about 3 feet away from the success, and you stopped. The bad thing is, as she stopped, there's more trash being put down, and she starts back. I can't promise it's 3 feet anymore because she stopped. You got to keep fighting through this stuff. The other thing that people do about the past is they talk about how they were born into a poor family. Their parents were too rich for them, and that caused them to be drug addicts. Their parents were too poor, and that caused them not to get a good education, so they started hanging out with the wrong people. It's funny how they either say their parents are too rich or they're too poor. Another answer is my parents were too standard. They were standard, so I became standard. This is the kind of talking about the past that's not going to help you. It's and you know, I don't mean to belittle people that have history, things that have happened to them, but really nobody cares. You know, and it really don't matter. What really matters is what you're going to do in the future and what you're going to do next. And what really gets you there is friends. Like this morning, I was like, I got to get my mind right for this call. So I reached out to Mike Leventovich. Thank goodness he picked up, and immediately my mind started getting right for the call, because everybody deals with stuff. But if you're around the right people that will pick you up, and not people that want to see you fail. So many people want to see you fail because they can't explain to their mom, they can't explain to their spouse, they can't explain to their children why you are succeeding and they are not. They need for you to fail. That way they can say, see, Megan Wood gave up. See, Mike and Noel didn't do it. See? But when we excel and we go to Thailand, and we take a river cruise, and we eat what we want to eat, we travel like we travel, and we have fun together, it annoys the hell out of people that quit. And so then they're going to start personal attacks on you. And usually it's something with like, you had an advantage over me. like you was taller than me, or you was better looking than me, or your mom and daddy helped you, or whatever. I promise you the attacks are going to come. Nobody's going to see what you're dealing with personally, and your job is to recognize this stupidity. Recognize this is just another challenge. And the 2 words that people don't like to use are how and what. What am I doing wrong? How are you doing it? How can I change? How can I get out of the spot I'm in? How can I become number one? How can I usually pay $100,000 in a month? What do I need to do differently? What they usually want to start out with, well, let me tell you what I'm doing. Let me tell you what I've learned. Like, bro, I don't care. What we need to know is what's the winners doing. Mike, if you would tell us a little bit about Megan and Chris and what you've seen them fight through, and then other people that are rising up in your organization and what they're going through and what they're dealing with to get to the other side of the trash pile.
Whew. Andy, thanks for having us here. Thank you for calling. It's fun to get a call from Andy. It's good when things are going bad to get a call. It's good when things are going good. And typically in life, there's always some of each. It's like you can have some of the best things happen one day and some of the worst things happen the same day. And you're like, holy cow, how's this happen? But if I start to look at Megan and Megan's been at the top of the leaderboard for a lot of this year, but it's funny to think that in January and February, Megan was issuing 20 and 25 and 30,000 a month. And here we are, it's only 6-7 months later where we're talking about 70,000 and 100,000 a month. So the first thing I tell people is Megan is not the Megan Wood that she was 6 months ago. And she's grown and changed. Now, what's scary to think is some people have been sitting there watching Megan thinking, I can't be Megan, I can't be Megan. Well, you could be if you'd start to work and change and figure out what to change, because Megan keeps changing. And I hope that people can not just see where Megan's at today, but can get some perspective that she's still a work in progress. And we talk daily about, we ain't just celebrate, oh, when Megan and Noelle and I talk, it's not, oh, how great thou art. It's nice job, girl. And okay, what about this, this, and this? And Megan's still taking the coaching. So I think that, and if I was talking privately with Megan and Andy, it's like we could talk about what are the things she's working on. Like she's focused on getting agency managers. She's got some things she's got to work on to break free and get to that level. Staffing is a big part of that. So I think, but what are the things, the battles that Megan has had? Well, she's got a relationship with the father of her child that she has to work through times, and when are they going to have that? And she loves her son. So the love of her son and doing everything for her son is a challenge to work through. And she's got to ask herself, is what I need to do going to help me and help my son, or is it not? And sometimes it's weird because you think, well, I'm taking time away from my son now to give him more later, or how do I do both? And it's a constant conflict. It might be like, well, shoot, am I going to get down to national conference, and how do I do that and work out my time? Or gosh, my mom was telling me I ain't doing enough. So she's got her mom in her ear, her son in her ear, her ex in her ear, and she's got to juggle all that and still stay focused. So that's one of her big things. If I look at Chris was very part-time with us, good guy, hanging around, learning, watching Megan. Lost his job due to COVID stuff and slowed down around April, and was kind of still hovering at that same part-time, starting to get rolling mindset. And we had a conversation about the 7th of June and just said, Bo, here's what you need to do. Start booking appointments face-to-face. Stop being scared. Stop giving people an option. He was giving people an option. He said, well, I can meet you over the phone or meet you over face-to-face. People say, why don't you meet me over the phone? And so I said, why are you meeting them? Well, that's what they chose. I said, why are you giving them a choice? Stop giving them a choice. I said, from here forth, you do not give them that choice. I said, somebody may demand it. That's fine. Well, he started booking appointments face-to-face. And Chris went from writing 1 or 2 or 3,000 issued paid a month to doing 26, 27,000 last month. And he's going to issue 30,000 this month. And so that's the first thing. Now, Chris is like me. He's like engineer, process oriented, follow the process. I tell you what, one of Chris's strengths is he still calls from the home on every appointment to make sure he's choosing which product to write. He still calls from the home every appointment. How do I know? Because he called him. Go ahead, Andy.
How is it that Chris has sense enough to do that? And I've got other people out there that they're doing half of what Chris Manifold's doing, but yet they have the arrogance. Their ego's so damn big, they refuse to have somebody to call from the home. It's just inconceivable. And it doesn't take more time. You get more issued. You learn more. Like, you can't. you see in those movies, somebody grabs somebody and just slams them against the wall and says, listen to me. You're not getting coached. Listen to me. You're not taking the advice that's being given to you. We can't do that. But it's something you're saying or you're finding them, Mike. I don't know if you can give me a taste of the combination of finding and saying to saying, damn it, you're better than this. Like Chris he's passed 300 people to get the numbers he's getting. He's above 300 people. And somebody says, not everybody can be in the top 10. I get it. But what if our number 99 person issued 10,000 this week? Number 99. So number 1 issues 30 grand this week, and number 99 or number 100 issues 10,100. That's possible. And to get there faster, what's that magic, Mike, that you're doing between find them and say to them?
First thing, I've had to change. First thing, I've had to change me. I think part of me being engineered track over time, and you've had this conversation with me repeatedly over the years, it's finally starting to take, as you said, Mike, you treat everybody the same. And I think part of it was because I wanted to treat everybody the same because I'm thinking process. Like that's almost part of my engineering thing. Here's my process. And what I failed to realize is that it's like, it's ain't a cookie cutter process because people ain't cookies. They're all freaking different, which is like, oh crap. So I had to learn to treat people differently, recognize their strengths and who they are. And yeah, kind of follow the process, but I have to be flexible and recognize not everybody's going to learn and respond the same way, but I have to know where I'm trying to get them to and try to help them. So the first thing is we have to be recruiting enough people to find the good ones that are malleable. We have to be patient with people with where they're at. Because when Chris had a full-time job, he was happy doing a little bit and hanging around the team, and we were always nice to him. But then we had to recognize, oh, wait, he don't have a job no more. He's trying harder. He's really trying to make a go of this. Hey, it's time to be a little bit stronger in our coaching with him. And so part of it was, okay, recognizing that Chris could respond to some tougher coaching, and then continuing to put up examples around the team of people that were succeeding and were calling. And I think Megan still calls multiple times a week. She doesn't need to call from home because she knows more about product now than I do in a lot of cases. It's crazy. I mean, just, she's telling other people on the team about certain products I didn't even know we have now. But the key thing is Megan's still calling for coaching. So I think the fact that Megan's setting that example and she's leading by her example of staying hungry for knowledge and staying humble enough to ask for it. Chris has seen that example within the team. Chris has decided he wanted to change, and he's staying humble in that process. So, and I think some of it's having your ego strong enough to recognize that you can still be good and get coached. It's like, pick NFL stories. Okay, so I've been a big New England Patriots Tom Brady fan. The story this week was, he didn't have a good game, and Bruce Arians ripped him in public. And I wonder if he's going to quit now and his ego's all messed. I promise you, Tom Brady's just fine getting spanked a little bit in public by Bruce Arians. I'm sure he's responding to it well because he's got a strong enough self-image and he's a winner, and winners take coaching, and feedback is the breakfast of champions, and they seek it out. They ain't worried about what the media is saying. He's like, yeah, I screwed up. I got to fix some stuff. My coach said it. He's right. And I think at some point are you good enough to take that coaching? So those are the different things. As you ask that question, it makes me think, Andy. One other piece. We have emerging leaders on the team that are coaching agents. And just like an agent is in the home needing guidance on how to proceed with a product or a situation, we've got emerging leaders that are coaching agents that need the same kind of feedback from experienced leadership on how do I nudge and move this agent. And they're not reaching out from the home when they're coaching an agent. Like they might be thinking, Mike, hey, I got so-and-so. I'm not sure how to help them out with their leads. I'm not sure how to help them out with their schedule. And they're just kind of going ahead. And the good news, they're making mistakes. But there's a lot of emerging leaders that would benefit by reaching out and reaching up with the same mindset of getting coaching as if they were a new agent in a home, except, hey, now I'm a new leader with a new agent. we got a lot of emerging leaders that would benefit from that same mindset of saying, holy cow, how many agents have I coached to get to 25,000 a month? I probably need some help on coaching agents.
Okay, 3 questions. Am I willing to learn from my past to make better choices? Am I willing to learn from my past to make better choices? Every day we get to ask that question. Are you using positive energy, or am I using positive energy to change my trajectory? Whether I'm going down, whether I'm going straight, or whether I'm going slightly up and I want to go straight up. Am I using positive energy to change my trajectory? 3rd question. Am I firing up future returns with my investments? Am I investing now like I want to receive later? Am I pouring in the money so that I can get stuff in the future? All right. So learning, so the past is really something that we can learn from, and that's about it. Learn from the past, but don't live in the past. Don't hang on to the past. It's learn and let go. Got it. That didn't work. Got it. Didn't like the way my ex was. Got it. Didn't like this. It's a learning system. Your present is really, your present is what's going to set you up for the future. So the past is learning. The present is really just a setup for the future. So when you say, I'm writing 20,000 a month, woohoo! How is that setting you up for the future? If you said, I'm making an extra $10,000 a month, I'm making, Megan, this is what you need to be thinking is, I'm making an extra 10 grand more than I need to live on to buy a better future. So people say, well, you can't buy your future, you can only create it. High dollar staff, high dollar investments in recruiting. Everything you got now to build tomorrow. Well, what's for tomorrow for? Tomorrow is to remind your current that you better get your dookie in order. You go into the future and you look back at yourself. Future creates urgency. When you talk about your future, you get urgent on your present. When you hang in your past, you're just pulling everything back. Let it go. You learned what you need to do. Now you're in the present. What the hell are you doing for tomorrow? So there's different ways that we say this. People that realize their mortality, they know they're going to die, get more stuff done. People that don't think they think that everything's going to be okay, they don't have the urgency of a person who says, we're going to wake up dead one day, we better get this thing going. The person that says, I'm 56. The person that's 20, I'm dealing with a guy that's really sharp, 27 years old, another girl, 19-year-old. What is your 29-year-old self going to say to you? You're 19. What does 29-year-old say? Pick the right kind of a guy. Put some money in the bank account. Build a business so you have the freedom to travel. What does the 29-year-old say to the 19-year-old? I'm 56. What does the 65-year-old say to the 56-year-old? It's always about urgency. It's telling me that I need to do now the way I want to live tomorrow. These guys These guys and girls that refuse to be coached out of arrogance, out of overconfidence, we all, as an organization, Mike and Tawny and Megan and Chris, we all need to fight for each other, that we will stay humble and stay hungry for tomorrow. This is how our organization gets massive. Is if you reach out to Andy Riddle and you say you're humble enough to take coaching, you reach out to Brant Swindell, one of our leaders, and say, are you humble enough? You reach out to Chadwick Ray and say, are you humble enough? Are you arrogant enough? You say this to Brandon Manley. You say this to Joe Dukes. You say this to each other. We keep ourselves humble and hungry, and more of us will be successful. People don't realize the fastest growing organizations in the entire company call me, ask questions. They call Mike and ask questions. The slowest growing do a lot of talking in their own head, and they do a lot of talking to slowest growing on purpose, because they know they will not be offended. They know they will not be offended by the slow growers. They talk to family, they talk to friends, and they talk to slow growers on purpose. See, going through this trash heap requires energy. It requires fortitude. It requires persistence. It requires discipline. It requires encouragement. We need to encourage each other. That's why we talk about audios. That's why we talk about books. That's why we talk about meetings. For all leaders, we're having a Zoom call this afternoon at 3:30, talk about social media recruiting and how we can help you with that. Also, the other thing I'm looking for, and Chris Manifold, I want to get one from him, Mike. It's made, with him talking, made me think. What I want from him is a success video that goes like this. It goes, hi, my name's Chris Manifold. My background is mechanical engineer from Duke University, wherever he went to school. I worked in 10 different organizations, multi-billion-dollar companies with 1,000 employees. I've worked with 2 or 3 employees. I've never seen anything like the Alliance. The coaching, the help, the support. I now make more money than I ever made there, and I have the freedom, and my future is brighter than ever. And if he can put some dollar figures in there, how much you made in a week. I had a week here, I made this amount. But I want you to practice back and forth with him, Mike, and get that. And I want it kept to really, I'd say less than a minute, maybe 2 minutes. I'm really looking for that one sentence. Bam. Text me, DM me, call me, get in touch. We'll tell you all about it. And the same thing from Megan Wood. I got a little boy. I'm a single mom. I worked at a restaurant, named the restaurant. Where's she work?
Applebee's.
Applebee's. I was a waitress at Applebee's. Worked my way up to a bartender at Applebee's. I bought me a house when I was working at Applebee's, and that's when somebody from the Alliance contacted me, and I said, I want to do what you do. I'm telling you, if you're a waitress at Applebee's, you're a waitress at Hooters, you're a waitress at Don Cesar, wherever you a waitress are, if you're a waitress, if you're somebody that says I can be a waitress, you like to do what I do. I have put away 100,000 cash this year in the bank, baby. You want me to show you how to do that? Working with the Alliance? DM me, call me, text me. And I'm really looking for a lot of these. I'm saying this for Tia in marketing. She's going after some people. We want different backgrounds. We're working on a recruiting app, Mike, that'll basically have a waitress set up, an engineer set up, a pet owner set up. We want just different backgrounds so that whatever track the person is on, we want military, Tony, with Jason. We want a military wife married into the military, different tracks that we can put people on. And so that when we're recruiting them, we show them people that are just like them that started making 6 figures, bam, and an opportunity to go partner with a big multi-billion-dollar company. Hey guys, 3 questions that you ask yourself. You're asking, am I willing to let go of my future? Am I investing right now for my future? And what is my future person telling me? My future me saying back to me, do I need to go? What I need to do? And all this stuff creates urgency. It creates the fortitude and persistence to get through when you're asking yourself the right questions. So proud of y'all. Oh, last thing, Tony, couple of people. I'll just do a couple of names of people and what you see in them and what's happening with them. I know we're at OT, so overtime. This is free. This is free information. I want to hear it.
Well, I think as we start talking about, we got Osuna and Otsoy. Like, these are the Guatemalan duos up in Reno, Nevada. They are. And what I see, what you talked about today, what I see in them, and I was just telling them, is that they are driving me bonkers, asking me questions. I mean, they're just getting coaching as they're building it and building it. So I think the Guatemalan duos are absolutely going to blow it up because they've started attracting similar people to them. And Osuna's also got a young, sharp guy. His name's Johnny, 19. He wrote 10 grand his first month out last month. He's shooting for 20 grand this month. He's driving, he's traveling, he's making sales. So, and he's hiring people. So I think Johnny Bravo is Bravo. That was a kid's cartoon. Johnny will be the next guy that's out there. And
tell me his last name, Johnny.
It's Bavo. Bavo.
Johnny Bavo. Okay.
So he'll be one that's direct to Osuna that we are crazy excited about. And we got Maddie Gonzalez. She'll be at the FG Life contest. You sometimes see it and it looks like Marty, but it's actually Maddie Gonzalez. She wrote 17,000 last month and she's pushing towards 20 this month. Her and her husband are going to be there. So I've seen some incredible stuff, like just doubling just like that. And they're growing their team. So we're seeing some great stuff that's coming out. And we got Mama Reyes. That's what she's known in our organization, is Mama Reyes. That's Adelia Reyes, mama to Lee Reyes. She's pushing for agency manager. She missed it last month by like that much. It was so close. It was like painful. But Mama Reyes is pushing for agency manager this month, writing 25,000. I mean, she's going out there. She was writing 2,000 or 3,000, and she stepped it up to 15,000 last month, and she's pushing for it again. So I think you're going to see big things come out of Mama Reyes, Lee Reyes, and Will Perez has had his all-time biggest month this month. So you're going to see some great stuff that's coming from them. And it's really for our goal of high production and building massive teams. And we were talking about 6 a.m.s in 6 months. And then we were sitting down with Marvin and Rachel Osuna, and I said, imagine if you did 6 agency managers, broke out 6 agency managers in your organization alone in the next 6 months. And they were like, what? And then they started to believe that they could do it. So I'm crazy excited for each and every one of them. So I think we've got some great stuff with some incredible people, and we are setting the pace, and we're thinking about when we got started, what would we have done, and would I have held back now 14 years later? Or if I was new me, or 26 or 24-year-old me, would I have traveled 24 hours? Would I have done that? And now I'm a little bit older and I'm like, oh, back hurts, but I'm still making those sacrifices. I'm still deciding to sacrifice just like I did back then. And I think that's why we're seeing huge growth, is that the team has decided to go sacrifice, even though maybe they're making more money than they've ever made. But we want to go partner. We're going partner, and we're going to bring a bunch of people with us. And we've just decided that it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter what's happening to the left or to the right. This is our goal. And I think you're going to see more people in our organization like the Osunas earning their first $500,000 income, their first $1 million income in the next year, year and a half. And people are going to be like, it just happened overnight. No. It didn't just happen overnight. It was the work that we put in every single day to make it happen. So I'm just jacked up, excited. I'm so proud of our team that continue to get out there and fight when the rest of the world says you should sit back and do nothing. And because they've decided they want more. So
no competition out there. The alliance is growing up, smoking. Thank you. I'm glad to hear those names of Johnny and all the crowd, Mama Reyes, and so many great people coming on. All right, Chris, Megan, thank y'all for being in, being on. We can see what winners look like. Mike, great advice, man. You and Noel keep blowing this thing up. Partnerships on the way, guys. Love y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.